Hello and welcome to Lightbulb Moments. I'm Shlomis Meyerfeld, and those of you who have been following this segment are aware of the structure. This is an opportunity for me to reach out to you, share some ideas in short segments, ideas about children's functionings, emotionality, socialization, etc. Today's topic will be talking about how to help your child succeed socially. This is, of course, an important topic. As we know, socialization is quite important in helping children, who will then, of course, grow up into adults, to develop good relationship skills, to understand conflict resolution, give and take in relationships, understand the self within a social context, all very, very important to your child's development. So many parents come to me and talk about difficulties with helping their child to socialize in the way that would be most beneficial for them and help them to be most successful. So I'm going to break down today some ideas to help your child to succeed socially. The first point I'd like to make is to be very, very aware of what your social goals are for your child versus your child's social goals. There are some children who have very little interest in socializing, and of course, even for those children, we must encourage them to socialize and help them to experience socialization in ways that are enjoyable for them, given what I just said beforehand, that socialization with their peers are going to affect how they're going to develop their relationship skills, how they're going to develop conflict resolution, and how they're going to develop understanding of the other, somebody other than them, and another one's wants, desires, feelings, understandings, viewpoints, etc. However, something to keep in mind, though, is that there are some children who don't have as much interest in socialization as the parents do. What I mean by that is there's some parents who perhaps they themselves are very sociable, and so they want to see their child follow in their footsteps, and they expect their child to have a play date every day, have 5 to 10 friends on instant call, have large parties frequently for their birthdays or anything else that they want to celebrate. But there are some children who really desire and require much less. There are some children who really only need maybe 1 to 2 peers whom they can relate to, 1 to 2 peers whom they can talk with, whom they can do shared activities with. Perhaps they don't need social activity every single day. Some of children do better with having some alone time. Some children, some of them are introverts. This helps them more to recharge, just have some alone time. Some children, for a birthday celebration, prefer to go out and do an activity with 1 to 3 friends whose company they enjoy spending time with, and don't necessarily desire or require large socialization. So that's the first piece. I always try to talk this with parents, who come my way and they say, my children suffer socially. I need help. I need help to figure out how to help my child to have more friends. And my first question is, I ask, first of all, does the child have any friends or does the child have 0 friends? Secondly, does the child see this as a problem, or is this more coming from the parent? Okay, the next point that I'd like to make is for parents who have children who do struggle socially and the child themselves sees this as a problem, the child themselves wishes that they had more friends, as a parent, that's where you come in to help them to succeed in this area. So the first step is I would encourage the parents to either ask the teachers or pay attention to what the children are saying and to notice who are their peers that can be potential friends and potential playmates. So, for example, if your child comes home from school and is often talking about a particular peer, a particular classmate, who maybe they work on project with, or you can tell that your child seems to like this peer because they will often reference a peer, they'll often talk about what the peer said or did during school time or during camp time. That is a peer that your child is interested in being friends with. Next is, I would make sure to clarify with your child what are good character traits to look for in a potential friend. So somebody who, of course, is kind, somebody who is nice to their peers, somebody who has a heart, somebody who they have common interests with, very, very important in developing a friendship. And not necessarily perhaps a classmate who appears to be the most popular, and oftentimes is not necessarily somebody that actually makes a good friend. So help them to understand that. So now that they understand what makes a good friend, and now you're going to have an idea, you're going to have in mind of a peer that can be a potential friend, help them now to develop, to lay the groundwork to develop, to make a friendship with this peer. The first step is I would encourage, before jumping into making a play date and putting these 2 children to spend time together, we want to prepare your child to have successful social interactions. So the first step is I would recommend and encourage your child to, within a school or camp setting, wherever they're spending time with this child, to increase your interaction with them. So for example, that may be working on a project together, that might be at recess time, spending more time together playing with this peer, perhaps at lunchtime sitting next to this child and sharing to sit and eat lunch together. I would also prep the child beforehand. If your child is open to it, some children don't want to hear this, but if your child is open to it, maybe encourage your child to role play. Encourage your child to set out different topics of conversation to have with this peer, ways to ask questions and show interest and share information about themselves. And it's definitely good to keep in mind any common interests that the child has with this peer. So this can be a starting point for conversation. And if there's a common game that they enjoy doing together, then perhaps during recess time or during camp time, during the downtime in camp, this is something that the child can do together with the peer, can invite the peer to join in this social interaction or this activity or game. Now, let's say that goes well. Great, that's going to lead us on step 3. Before I go on to that, I'm going to talk about what if it doesn't go well? What if your child comes home and tells you, I tried to engage, I tried to play with my peer, but the peer was not interested. So now you have to understand how to help the child to view this as a learning experience. Perhaps this peer maybe wasn't really going to be such good friend material for various reasons, and to help the child to not take this too personally. This is where self-esteem is going to come in. For those of you who are interested, I do several other segments and activities with helping a child to develop healthy self-esteem. Contact me on my website individually, and I can certainly be of help for that. But what we want to help your child to see is that as self-esteem, healthy self-esteem, the way that I define it is understanding one's strengths and one's weaknesses. So therefore, your child, if he's struggling socially and he comes home and says, I tried to do what you said, I tried to play with this peer, but this peer was not interested and I feel bad about it. Like I said, help them to see what is there to learn from it and help to remind them that, okay, this is something that you struggle with. We're not going to sugarcoat that. But that's okay. We all have areas where we struggle. And we also all have areas and things that we excel at. What are some areas that you're really good at? This is an area that you find challenging, and I'm going to help you with it, but there are other areas that you're really good at. Please, let's talk about that. Okay, now let's say it goes really, really well, the social piece within the school or camp setting. Now, how do we bring that to an unstructured environment? How do we bring that outside school to increase the relationship and bring it to a friendship? So now it's time to arrange a play date. When arranging a play date, it's important to keep in mind for the first play date to try to keep it somewhat structured. So what I mean by that is have some sort of structured activity and prepared ahead of time that both children enjoy. This will help to increase the likelihood of it being successful and it then developing into more play dates and more of a relationship, a friendship. So for example, if both children enjoy ice skating, take the children ice skating. If both children enjoy playing a specific ball game or specific board game, have that game prepared for when your child's peer is going to come over for the play date. If both children enjoy watching a specific TV show, have that prepared. Now, of course, you don't want them just to be sitting in front of the TV and watching that. There should be some structured time and some unstructured time, because when they're first meeting and they're first getting to know each other, especially children, they struggle with the unstructured time and how to just hang out. So that's Lightbulb Moment for today. Again, I'm going to go over quickly the 3 points. Number 1, keep in mind, is your social goals for your child the same as his or her social goals? Secondly, think about who is going to be a good peer for them, who's going to be a potential friend, and help them to develop more interactions within the school setting. And the third point, first play date, how to have a structured activity set up. This is Cheryl Mayerfeld. This is Lightbulb Moments. As always, I hope that this was enjoyable and helpful. Please give me your questions, your feedback. CherylMayerfeld.com, and let me know what other topics you'd like to hear about. Thank you.